Some betrayals don't announce themselves with loud confessions. They slip in quietly, hidden behind smiles and excuses, until the truth tears your world apart. I thought my wife's trip with her best friend was just a chance for her to relax, to escape the weight of our daily struggles. I trusted her. I trusted them both. But when she returned, something was different. A change in her eyes, in the way she carried herself. And then came the truth. My wife wasn't just back from a trip. She was carrying a child. And it wasn't mine. Trust had always been the foundation of my marriage. My wife, Claire, and I had been together for 7 years, building our lives brick by brick, struggling at times, but always leaning on each other. She was my partner, my anchor in the chaos of work and bills and responsibilities. Her best friend, Olivia, was almost like family to us. They had been inseparable since college, and I had grown used to Olivia being part of our lives. Dinners together, double dates with her husband Mark, and countless stories shared over wine. Mark was polite, charming in that way some men are, but I never thought much of him beyond being Olivia's husband. One spring, Olivia invited Claire on a week-long trip. "Just the two of us," Claire said excitedly. "A girls' getaway." They wanted to travel to the coast, enjoy the ocean, relax. I encouraged her to go. She had been stressed, and I thought she deserved it. She hugged me goodbye at the airport with a smile that seemed lighter than I had seen in months. I told her to enjoy herself, never imagining that the trip would become the fracture line in our lives. The week passed slowly. I missed her, but I trusted her completely. We exchanged messages, though she was often busy, saying the signal was weak or they were out exploring. I didn't question it. I didn't doubt her. When she returned, I noticed subtle differences. Her smile was softer but distant, her eyes distracted. She was affectionate, but it felt forced, as if she was trying too hard. I chalked it up to post-trip exhaustion, the kind of lingering fog after a vacation. But then weeks turned into months, and I began noticing more. She was nauseous in the mornings. She grew quieter, withdrawn. And then the test, the small plastic stick she tried to hide in the bathroom trash. She was pregnant. I should have been happy. We had talked about children before, though we hadn't been planning. But something in her eyes told me the joy wasn't there. Her silence when I held the test in my hands was louder than any confession. I confronted her gently at first. "Claire, this is amazing news, right?" She forced a smile, nodding, but her hands shook. I wanted to believe it was mine. I wanted to hold onto the illusion that life had given us a gift. But doubt gnawed at me. Her behavior only deepened my suspicion. She avoided my touch, avoided conversations about the future. She seemed haunted. One night, unable to keep it in, I asked, "Claire, is there something you're not telling me?" Her eyes filled with tears, but she said nothing. That silence was an answer in itself. Days later, the truth began to slip. I overheard her on the phone, her voice low and trembling. "We can't. It was a mistake." My heart pounded as I listened. She was talking to someone, begging them to let it end there. That's when the puzzle pieces aligned in the ugliest way possible. It wasn't some stranger. It wasn't an accident from a drunken night on the trip. It was Mark, her best friend's husband. The realization shattered me. I replayed every dinner, every laugh, every casual glance between them. It had been there, hidden in plain sight. The trip that was supposed to be a girls' getaway had been something else entirely. When I finally confronted her, she broke. She sobbed uncontrollably, confessing everything. The late-night drinks, the shared laughter, the moment that turned into a kiss, and then more. She told me it wasn't love, just a mistake, but her words were ash in my mouth. A mistake doesn't grow into a child. What cut deepest wasn't just her betrayal, it was who she chose. Olivia was her best friend. Mark was her husband. Two marriages shattered with a single choice. I couldn't escape the humiliation. The people closest to us had become the architects of our downfall. My wife, the woman I had trusted above all, had destroyed our bond in a way that could never be undone. The night the truth became undeniable was the night she placed her hands on her stomach and whispered, "I'm sorry." I remember staring at her, the weight of everything pressing down. The child she carried was living proof of betrayal, a constant reminder that trust had been broken beyond repair. I asked her, my voice hoarse, "Is it his?" Her silence confirmed it. The walls closed in around me. My chest felt hollow, my breath shallow. Rage and grief battled inside me, but I couldn't bring myself to scream. What good would screaming do? It wouldn't change the truth. She begged me to forgive her, to see it as a mistake that didn't erase the years we had shared. But every word she spoke only widened the wound. I thought of Olivia. Did she know? Did she suspect that her own husband had crossed that line with the person she called her best friend? I thought of Mark. How easily he had smiled across the dinner table. How casually he had shaken my hand while hiding this betrayal. I packed a bag that night. I couldn't stay. Every room in the house felt poisoned. Every memory tainted. She cried as I left, but I couldn't look back. The woman I thought I knew, the life I thought I had, it was all gone. In the weeks that followed, the truth unraveled further. Olivia found out. Her marriage collapsed too, leaving nothing but ashes where trust once stood. Two families destroyed because of selfish choices made on a single trip. As for me, I filed for divorce. It was the hardest decision of my life, but also the only one I could live with. I couldn't raise another man's child while pretending it didn't cut me to the core. I couldn't share a home with a woman whose promises meant nothing. The pain lingered, sharp and raw. But slowly clarity emerged. Betrayal doesn't just end relationships. It reveals them. It shows you who truly values loyalty and who only values their impulses. It forces you to see the fragility of trust. I won't pretend I'm healed. Scars like these don't fade quickly. But I've learned that sometimes the greatest strength comes from walking away, from choosing dignity over despair. If you've ever been betrayed by the people you trusted most, you know the devastation it leaves behind. But you also know this betrayal is not the end. It's the brutal beginning of something new. So I ask you, what would you do if the love of your life returned from a trip carrying not just secrets, but a child that wasn't yours?